Hi y'all, it's Pam at Pink Dragonfly Wings here with our next episode of my Dephemerember videos. And these are the videos that I'm doing ahead of time. And I'm not sure at this point that I am going to be able to finish these last 4 or 5 here on the list in time before the surgery, seeing as how I have surgery a week from tomorrow. So I'm going to get these done and get those posted. Hopefully I'll be able to do these during the week this next week. And then these may have to wait until I recuperate. And that's just the best I can do. I've tried really hard to get them all done, but I just am running out of time. But today we're going to do December 21st, Vintage Meets Modern. And so we're going to do that one today. We're going to see how it turns out. And I have some stuff here. And I thought, wow, vintage to modern. The easiest thing that I could think of was the way people have changed as well as phones, telephones. So I have these 3 pictures. This was a sticker that I have, so I'm going to use this one. I am going to cut this one out. This is here a few years ago. In fact, while I am telling you where this came from, I will go ahead and cut it out. Take my glasses off so I can see a little better. A few years ago, I belonged to an online art group, and we did lots of swaps and all kinds of cool stuff. I really enjoyed it, and it was just so much fun. I got to make friends all over the world, and it was just really cool. Anyway, so we decided at one point to have a stamp swap. That's hard to say. Stamp swap. And so we had partners, and we sent each other, I don't remember, 20 or 25 little stamped pieces like this that we had of stamps in our stash. And then that way, so we could share our stamps as well as we could get stamps, or at least stamped objects. We did not send the stamps. We made stamped pieces like this and sent those to each other. So we got to keep our stamps. And it was really cool because I got to get at least 1 or 2 of stamps that I did not have. And it was really awesome. It was really cool. And so this was one of the stamps that I got. And it was really cool because my mother and my brother both worked for the telephone company. Let's see if I can cut this little bitty piece in here because that's kind of irritating. They both worked. My mother retired from the telephone company. My brother still works for the telephone company, AT&T. And not that I'm plugging AT&T or anything, but phones have always just kind of been a special part of our family. It was our livelihood, That's where my mom, my brother and I were raised pretty much by a single mom, working 3 and 4 jobs just to make ends meet with us. And so telephones are very special in our family, and I thought that's what I was going to pick to use for my comparison of vintage and modern. So, all right, I've got that cut out, and I found this online. It's just an ad for a cell phone, and I thought, okay, so we have 3 different levels of the development of the telephone. So that's what we're going to use, and I'm going to make little tags with these. And then I also have, I used one, I'm going to use one of, I don't know, I may have to turn this sideways and do it this way. to get both of these on here. But I might have to cut my husband's arm off there. But this is one of Tim Holt's people that came in his people packet. I don't know what it's called. But I have that, and then I have this one, and this picture was taken of my husband and I on our 50th wedding anniversary here about a month ago. And so I managed to get them close to the same size. And then I'm going to put a little pocket right here and put our tags in there to show the telephone. And that's my interpretation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with some old-timey looking paper. But I think if I'm going to do it that way, I'm going to have to turn it around and do this. I only have one sheet of that, but I think if I put a piece of this underneath, that one is not quite tall enough. But let's put my glasses on. I didn't need them to do my close-up cutting, but to see anything, I do need them a little bit. So if we put that right there and put this on top right here, that will kind of come in. It's not real sure. I had another piece here, and I don't know. This is just a piece of music paper here, so we could put this on top here. And then, I don't know, maybe we could take this and cut this down the center and put one on this side and put one on this side and put this in the center. I think I like that better. Okay, and I'm not going to put this whole piece. I am going to tear it a little bit so that we have some raw edges. So let's see how this is going to work. But I thought this little writing hand was cool. And so we're going to tear this apart right here. And we may, yeah, we have plenty of room to do that. Tear this apart here. And tear this off down here. And we'll put all this over here in our nubbin bucket. And then put this right on here like that. And I think that will work. Oh, I think that will be perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to ink up these pages. We're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to get busy. And so we're going to do a dauber. Where? There it is. We're going to ink these up. Now, I don't know that I need to ink these. I can ink this up when I ink the edge of the paper. So let's do this glue. And glue this down, and I think that will work. Okay, I can't tell if glue's coming out of that or not. I think it is, but I think it is very... Let's see, I think I have my little paper clip here that I use to put down in here. Sometimes that gets just a little thick. Put that over there. And that makes it much better. I think it gets a little air bubble in there from time to time and doesn't want to cooperate. so we'll put this right up to the edge, and we'll have to corner our our edges, just because these pages came from my stash and they already had the little curves on them. So, okay, I'm going to put this one on this side. Okay, put that over there. Oh, I don't know why I did that, but, and then we're going to ink up the edges of this all the way around. Now that's going to give us where we still have quite a bit of good print, and I like the print. So we're going to stick with that, go around these edges. And put this in here. Okay. And then I think we'll just put some ink across the top of it, kind of grungy it up just a little bit. Alrighty, and then we'll glue this down really quickly. And this should be a shorter video than usual. I'm hoping it will be anyway. I know there are so many people doing videos that it's kind of hard sometimes to be able to watch everybody. So if we can make them a little shorter, that would help. All right, and then we have our little couples over here, and I just think this little couple just looks so cute in their little outfits, and so I thought those would look darling. And let's get that out of the way. And then, of course, here's us, so that pretty much. But I think I am going to cut this off right here. My husband was leaning on a chair in this picture, and so, of course, now it looks like he doesn't have an arm, but I'll put him up close to the edge, and that'll work. And we'll do that. We'll put this one right up close to the edge here. And then that is going to give me a little space here. And these were what I had for my tags. So, okay, that's going to work, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and ink around these little people just to kind of dull the edges a little bit. I just don't like those white edges. Okay, just enough to kind of take the white edges down a little bit, make it look a little more, I don't know, he looks really funny without that arm on there. I wonder if I could, oh, well, that could work. It pull him in a little bit. I could do that. It's kind of funny looking because it's not really where it was intended to be, but there we go. We do what we have to do when we're junk journaling. Oh, that makes his arm really, really short. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go with it. Now, this is me and my hubby and two little old, fat, crippled people. But we've made it for 50 years, so I guess we're all right. There we go. And then we'll put that one right there. Okay, so I'm going to glue those two down, and they will be flat. So we're going to stick these little folks down here. And make sure they're standing straight. And then we'll glue this other one. In my picture, I didn't get our feet, so we have no feet. But that's okay. We'll put that. Pull it down a little bit. Okay. And then I had some of this stuff, and so I thought, well, that's kind of vintage looking, so I thought we could put this right here. Well, we'll put it as close to the edge as we can get it. Okay, there we go. And I thought, well, that looks kind of liven it up a little bit. And then we'll turn this over and cut that off. And I can put this back on here and use this later, because we don't want to waste it. And then I have another one here that we can put on the top. So we'll put this one right here at the top of this. Now, I think I'm going to run it right there. No, that gets into Mr. Dude's head. So let's put it here and just go with where the holes fall. They'll just have to fall where they fall. Okay, cut that little piece off and save that for another thing. Ooh. Okay, put that on there. There we go. And then, all right, now let's work on these cards because I need to know how I think what I do with my little pictures. You know, I spend half of my time, I put them over here, half of my time hunting something. So I thought maybe we'd put that one on that one, and that one on that one, and this little one on the narrower one. So that's what I think we're going to do. And this is just a little, I think it's a sticker. Let's see. It's kind of hard to tell. Well, it's so old, it looks like the sticker has kind of stuck to the paper, so we may have to just fussy cut it out a little bit. There we go. Come on. And not worry about taking it off as a sticker. I am the worst fussy cutter in the world, I think. Of course, I think it's probably these scissors are like trying to cut grass with garden shears or something. But that will work. All right, so let's find our dauber, put our glasses back on so we can see what we're doing. And then we'll just ink around the edges so it won't show so weirdly. Oops. My I have probably had these stickers, oh my gosh, since I probably started scrapbooking 30 years ago. We'll put that right there. We'll put this one here. We'll ink him up. And I thought that I would leave the hand on there just because that way we can show that it's a handheld phone. just for general purposes. Okay, we'll put that one right there. And we'll put this one on the last one. Oh, goodness. It's kind of a lazy day around here today. Okay. Put that one right there. Maybe we need to put, I got this really cool paper. And I thought, wow, that would be kind of cool. Maybe we could use this on the back so it doesn't look quite so bleh. Maybe so. And I think that would, do we need to cover the whole thing? I don't think so. For one thing, I don't have enough of this stuff. It only comes in a very small piece. But that does look cool if we could do this one. That one's a little short, but I could probably, well, if I can pick up the piece of paper, I think that if I cut them just a little shorter, I could probably get that all on there, or I could make it where it doesn't go quite to the edge. I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll just do it that way. And let's see if we have a writing utensil. And I can make a little mark there and a little mark there. Let's get our little cutter doodad out. And see. I think that will work. And then we'll have this little piece up here at the top. Okay, let's put that over there for the moment. Let's see how that's going to look. And then we'll just put that on there. Put a little texture and interest on the back of it. And then we'll put our phone on here. And I think that'll look great. I like that idea. All right, so we're going to go ahead and, I don't know if we can ink this up or not, but we can put a little bit of a shadow to it around here. Put this over here. It is kind of like trying to put down lace, but it's paper, but I think it'll work just fine. Put that right in the center. And then we can put this on here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. And then I think I'm going to take a sheet of this paper on the back. And let's get our cutter and cut this down so that we only see the lines. We may have to do a couple of these, but that's okay. I've got plenty of it. Plenty, plenty. And let's cut off a little piece of that. Alright, let's see here. This is, we want it to not quite go to the edge either. Excuse me. I think that we can cut that right there. And right there. And two of these are the same size, so I think that I will go ahead and get this other one ready because I can cut them together. And I cut off a little bit of the top, I think, didn't I? Or did I? Apparently I did not. Okay, so now I don't see my lines. There they are. So if we turn that one around that way, but that will work. That will work. Okay. So I'm going to cut this one first. Make sure that I have that even. Save that. And then we'll cut over here and cut that little piece. And then the other one is a different size, so we'll have to redo it differently anyway. So, okay. And we need to cut off the top of this, so I'll just use my scissors. Put that over there, and let's see how this is going to, that will fit perfectly. So we'll ink around the edges of this piece of paper. Put some journaling lines on the back. And I think I can use this glue. And it doesn't make as big a little lines on the back, so it works a little better when you're doing something that's going to have writing on it. Okay. There we go. And then we can ink up the edges around the sides. And around the sides here. So there's one tag. Now let's do the other tag. And the first one, like I said, the one is a little more narrow. So that was the only piece I had left. And I didn't want to cut up another whole piece of paper just to have a little tag thing. So if I had been smart, I would have measured it beforehand and been able to cut them all three the same size. But of course I did not do that. So I'm going to put this on here. And put that on there. Then I'll turn it over and do the other side. And then that way I'm sure it's where I need it to be. I tell you, this little thing, I think it just does that just to infuriate me. because then I have to put this little needle back in that little bitty hole and unclog it again. And now we're in business. Okay. So we'll and then on this side we need another little piece of this, and I think that if I cut that about right there and about right here, I will have plenty for the other little tag. So let's see how it works. And cut off this little piece. If I can find my mark, there it is. And that one will fit on the other one, hopefully. Okay, so let's ink around this. And I did discover that there is definitely a smoother side than the other. One side has a little bit more texture than the other side, and so I want the more textured side to be face up, and the glue will spread a little better to the smoother side, which will be on the back. So we will do that. And there we go. That's going to work perfectly. So I am going to use this glue for this. Put that on there. Don't need just a whole lot, just need to, okay. And it really doesn't ink up the side very good, but it inks up enough that you can see that there's a definition there. So that's going to work out just fine. All right, and we'll put the cell phone on this one. Really don't like how that looks, but that's how the picture was. So I'm going to kind of round it a little bit. That'll work. Okay, let's use this. Put this on here. And we have our second tag. Okay. Now then we're going to ink up the edges of this. And there's that one, and then we have this last one, and I think that this little phone on here will be fine. I think it would get lost in that bigger one, so we're going to have plenty of whatever this fancy paper stuff is, so we're going to be able to make it fine. We'll put that little piece, and then we'll do, I think I can do this on with my scissors, since it's a small piece. Maybe. Maybe, baby. Save those little pieces. And that is going to work perfectly. So we will ink up the edge of this. I don't know if this is anything like what Louisa and Barbara had in mind for this prompt, but this was about as creative as this old Southern girl could be. we'll see how it works, see how it does. Okay. That really is very pretty. I don't know if the camera is picking that up as much or not. Now, that's not really wide enough, but it could work to save from having to cut another whole sheet of paper. And I think that's what we'll do. So I'm going to cut off a little bit of this top because I think that's just too much top space. And then we'll cut this one right at the bottom of that one. All right, let's get this inked around. And like I said, it's not quite as big as I'd wanted it to be, but it was a scrap. And so we're going to make it work. Okay. We haven't put the phone on there yet, so it doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to scoot this over this way. Like that. And then I'm going to use one of these little things that we had left over and put it on the side here. All right, and I'm going to cut it right there on the end. And I think that what I will do is get another napkin. And I think that I will kind of stick that down on there. And let's grunge that up a little bit. Now if I can get it off this napkin, perfect. And then I don't have a piece big enough for the whole thing, so I think that I will put it right there. Perfect. That will work very nicely. And then we'll turn it over here and we will put our phone on here. Kind of almost looks like a little top hat. It looks like he has a little top hat on. All right, so we have our 3 tags made. And I think that I'm going to come back over here and put a little ink on this too, because I kind of liked how that looked. Kind of grungy it up a little bit. It doesn't look quite so white and crisp and clean and new. You want it to be, I like that a whole lot better. Much better. All right, so now we need a pocket, and it's got to be at least wide enough that these tags will fit in here. Okay, so that's very flimsy paper. Very flimsy paper. But I think cut this off. And do that like that, because I'm going to put 3 tags in there, so it's got to lift up a little bit. All right, and I'm going to have to have a piece of cardstock, because that is just not, it is just not thick enough to hold that on its own. So, and so we'll, yeah, that's right. I saw it. Fixing to close up my whole tag, but we're not doing that. We're going to put this on here. And then we'll cut this out. And cut that one. Put that over at the side. We'll ink this up. Let's see if I have, I don't know where I put, there it is, this little jobby. So we'll put that like that. And we'll try to put it with a little bit of curve to it so that it will hold those tags. And I think that'll work pretty good. I think that'll work pretty good. So, but we're going to use the Fabri-Tac glue. Okay. And we're going to put it on about right there in the center. Okay. Oh, goodness. And then we're going to start with the most recent, the newest one, and put it in there. And then that one, oh, I didn't stick down my bottom. If I don't stick down my bottom, my little cards are going to fall out. Okay, so now then, we're going to put you in there first. And we're going to put you in there next. And then we'll put you in there last. Oh, I didn't go around the edges of you, did I? We can't have that. There we go. And we can put you right there. And that way we can still see that there are 3 tags in there. And there we go. Now then, what about taking, maybe I could put our date and our title on here, on these. I may do that, but I haven't got it printed yet, so I'm not going to sit here and make y'all watch me do all of those letters again. So, but there we go. There is our vintage meets modern. At least my interpretation of it. And then we have our phones in here. And I think I've left enough room for my holes. So I think we're pretty good. So I am going to call that one finished. I'm going to put it in my book, and we'll see what's next. Okay. Thank you for coming along with us today. I hope you enjoyed it. And in the meantime, till we meet again, be creative. Bye-bye.